I could edit it.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do a little quick running warm up. Fadi, this is for you. Not this way, but it is kind of for you. So first things first, you gotta have a foam roller or a ball. Okay, so like a massage ball, it could be any size. The reason why I have this one is because they have the knobs in it, and it's a little bit deeper. So it's kind of like having a lot of them. But that's besides the point. You can use a regular foam roller. Try not to touch all the park equipment because coronavirus. So you can put this in like a bib if you have it. Okay. So what you're gonna do here, you're gonna come down onto your quads in the upper half. So we're trying to get hip extension here. So we're getting this area. So because I'm gonna get out of that real quick. We're going, since we're running, the best position, not best, but one of the better positions you have to get into is where this hip is closed and that foot's back. Because a lot of people when they run, they actually run kind of open here and that foot's opened up. So it puts a lot of tension on the inner knee here, okay? So I'll show you from this angle. So you're gonna just catch this knee. So if you're not perfect, quote unquote perfect, your toe would be forward and it would be slightly internally rotating. You can squeeze both glutes here. Usually people are open. If you notice that foot's open, that's exaggerated. But when you run, a lot of people do that. So over time, that knee starts to cave in, causing some osteophytes or other things that can grow right here, kind of like a bunion. But point is, our goal is to have this position, toes forward, able to squeeze your glutes. Like I feel a little tightness here on both sides, and not be open this way. So you want to be able to close that. How do you do that? We're going to open it up with some hip extension exercises here. Again, going back now to this beautiful foam roller. So if you feel those areas like I did right now, you can go exactly to those areas. So you find that, boom, right there. So from here, what do? So the exact position I was in was what? Other knee in front while the other leg was back. So this leg was back, okay? So you can kind of set that up. The other knee comes up. So now you can squeeze this glute. You're more hip extension there. And what we're gonna do here, you're gonna come down over it, keeping that knee open, and then rotating up. So you can basically break open all that fascia that's locked in and tight. Because a lot of times over time, it'll get tight from moving wrong. So you roll onto it, notice the foot's rotating too with it, but you're keeping this basically in the same position. A little bit of movement because it's impossible not to. But notice that left foot over here, slightly rotating, going inner thigh, and coming onto the outer thigh. A few reps of that, don't be afraid to put some pressure on that. Once you get about 5 to 10 reps, I'd say 10, you can also bend that back leg a little bit, and you can hold it next level. But you gotta make sure that you keep the tension and the pain in that leg from the foam roller or the ball that you're using. Cool. Then you switch sides. Same thing. I feel it more on the outside on this hip. You roll to the outside on both hips, but oh my god, the toe actually hooked out on that side. So you here, rotate that foot, open up your chest a little bit too. Rotate that. Oh my god. Go onto it, just don't roll over your junk. Right there I feel a lot. So you can just hold a spot and bend the leg. But again, that knee needs to be high. So you need to feel like this is a 90 degree and this is straight behind you. Exaggerated position, okay? So that's for hip extension and better running mechanics, because a lot of times your foot will want to go out when you're running. Again, from a forward position, a good position would be where you can squeeze your glutes. Like I can feel my right glute here real good. This leg is basically straight for the most part. Again, if this is real tight, your body's gonna wanna stay away from that. It'll open up that, and notice how when you land, cool, you land, but this knee's caving in. So over time, you're just landing, and then you come forward on this leg, and technically this will come in, landing like that, and then over time the inner knee will start being problematic. So next thing, you don't need to have this, but if you have one, great. Cool, you could use this for balance if you need to, a chair. Put this above your hip or right in that same area we just worked. Usually you need a heavier band. This can go about the same level as your hip if you want. I don't have a mat, so I'm gonna use the grass. You're gonna come forward with both, and whatever leg has the band on it, my right leg, you're gonna bring that down to the ground, and you're gonna oscillate back and forth. If you can, same thing here. Don't let the foot come too far out. Notice I'm already falling over balance, or too far in. You wanna keep it straight shot like a machine, and here, squeeze that glute. If you don't feel any tension here, you can raise the arm up, and do not, if you could come right here in the front, do not let this hip here come out that way. It makes it easier. So you squeeze, feel a little stretch there, arm come up, and you just reach. and squeeze that glute. And you'll feel that kind of squeeze your butt forward, chest up, and then you're good, okay? Then once you finish that, you switch sides. Cool, cool, cool. This is a basic thing. If it helps you on your runs, it should not give you the runs, help you on your runs. Just play. Okay, squeezing that glute again. Don't let that hip drop out. Squeeze that butt in this way and forward. Raise that arm up. Make sure your shoulders and your chest are like, if there's a wall in front of you, square to it. Same thing with your hips, basically square. You can just check by doing this. See if they're in line for the most part. One's higher than the other. You can drop the hip if you need to. Right there, good. Arm comes up and you reach over. Squeezing that butt cheek. If that hurts too much, go back with the hips. Squeeze the glutes forward. Hold your hips so you know where your hips are at. Squeeze the glute forward. You don't want to go forward and then you're like this, or when you go forward you're like this. Notice how my fingers, they move, because that's where my bones and my hips are. So if I come forward and they stay in line, that's good. If I came forward and did this, obviously that's bad. Not bad, but not optimal. Okay, here, squeezing that for that stretch. Then you're good on the first part. After that, you can do other things, and you'll go for reps on these. I'll just show you the 2 exercises. World's greatest stretch. You'll come out, get a good position, hands come in, straighten that back foot out, raise the hand up, squeeze that glute on the ground, open up, chest open, shoulder blade squeeze. Really squeeze that glute on that left side with the new extension that you got from those 2 exercises as a warm-up. You can come down, rotate. Also remember, you're here, keep everything locked in. The only thing you're trying to move is the upper body. Boom, that feels terrible. Right, going for 5, you switch. I kind of cheated y'all there, but so we could get this video on. Again, feel that stretch here. Squeeze that right glute now, that if you're on the right, hand up. Everything's locked in below the upper body. Try to keep it, try not to let this knee come down. Keep it up. Going for it. If you have somebody watching you, let them tell you what's wrong. Ryan, at any time you can tell me from this. You're like, I can't tell. Squeeze that glute. You should feel it all in this hip here. Keep it, the toe straight, not over here. That's wrong. Here's good for the most part. Open up. Don't let the hips drop too much. And then you're good there. Last one, or last 2, my bad. You're here, adding another one. You're gonna do the side lunge again. Hold your hips. Okay. Step out. Hips go back. You can hold your hips to see they're both going simultaneously. Inner thigh stretch. Come up. Same side. Boom. For that stretch, 1, 2, up. Hold your hips. Boom. 1, 2, up. Switch sides. Go for 7 to 10. 1, 2, up. Again, check that. That's better there. 1, 2. Notice the knee. I'm not in. I'm right here where the middle or the ring finger's at of the toe or the feet. That foot's forward. Notice that too. And then up. Last one. 1, 2, up. All right, last bit. You come over here. You can use a formula for balance if you need to, or whatever else. You're basically gonna, don't get corona, guys. You're gonna raise that foot up. Okay, get that stretch in the calf. Okay, you can come across, back to center, and then it's a little balance action, and back. If you had a foam roller, it'd be easier, or these bars here, but I'm not gonna hold it. Rotate. It's really good if you don't do it without it. Hips again. Control both hips and back. I feel a hamstring stretch, a calf stretch. Same idea. Rotate, rotate. Get those right here, those hips, and back. Let's switch sides to see which one's better. This one already feels better. Never mind. I stand corrected. They're both terrible. Good. The hip goes back better on this side. Boom. Cross. Cross. Hips both back. Back. Same thing, knees not falling in. And then up. Last one. I'm just doing like the crappy version. I'm not going completely because I'm actually working on balance here. and then good. If you want to be crazy, we'll add one more for fun. Sorry, Ryan, I'm lying to you a lot. Okay, so kind of like that side lunge. This time, you're gonna hold it though. So you're gonna come here, you're gonna come down, you're in a good position, you're gonna rotate the hips. It's kind of hard, as you can tell. Hands come up, you feel that stretch. Squeeze that glute, your back shouldn't be like this. It should be squeezed forward. Here, once you finish that, you come down, and then like you're going under a bar, come under, you might hear it pop, you might hit your face if you don't know what's next to you. Boom, right here. Then again, arms come down, under. See that deep stretch there. Feet are out, that's okay. And then rotate the feet, make sure you're in the right position. Don't let the foot overly rotate in or out. Boom, squeeze that glute. Under the fence, open up those hips. Boom. You do again 5 to 10, really 7 to 10 reps per side. Thanks, Ryan, for the recording. Hard ass thing to do. Really good warm up for a run and for any leg workout. So see y'all later. Gus out.